Go on then, Carl. Back announce that. It's your choice, that.
Right, songs with good stories that you can't fade out.
Yeah. Although you can heavily edit them. For
I noticed you didn't play the full version, which has obviously got the complete story in. You've just played a.
I haven't heard the other. That's all I know.
Well, in the album version, he
gets
goes
abducted.
to jail.
He gets abducted as well, and he comes back with a big beard.
Yeah, and he's covered in hair. No, he gets arrested and goes to jail. But it's just because he gets picked up because he's black and he hasn't done anything wrong. There's a whole other sort of section.
Maybe we should change this section.
No, what we'll do, right?
Abridged versions of songs.
Yeah.
No, next week we'll play the second bit, and it'll be like Star Wars or something like that. Brilliant.
Doves, Caught by the River on XFM 104.9. Well, it's been a good show, hasn't it? There's been sort of like quite a rock and roll 70s feel to it, mainly the equipment. But we got through it. Carl's been telling us some great insights into his mind, really. We've had a few laughs, a few tears. Bit stressful. What were you telling me in the week about when you went to visit your dad in hospital?
Oh, we're talking about, yeah, when I got back off holiday, my dad was in hospital. I shot back to see him, see how he's getting on, and hospitals are depressing places, aren't they?
Yeah.
Really, like, God, even if you're not that ill, it makes you feel worse.
Yeah.
Because it's really, like, drags you down. There's people walking around moaning, and,
You, mainly.
Yeah. Nurses.
And, my dad was
political.
like...
Yeah.
Is
high five.
Satire.
Yeah. I would like to be the
they don't get paid enough and all that, and they do, like...
No, well, that's...
Tony Blair, are you listening?
I don't want to look like I'm moaning about the people working, because they all work really hard.
Yeah, of course they do, yeah.
But it's just they are depressing places.
High five.
Nice one,
Go
nice
on.
one.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm sat there, my dad's getting fed up, and
Is that because you're visiting?
just he's quite an active bloke, and all of a sudden he's got to stay in bed, and it's like sit down, stop moving about, and all this. So he's sat there, and there's an old woman in the bed next door, right, and she's in a bad way anyway.
Yeah.
Right. She must have been. I'd say she looked about 98 or something like that.
Okay, good.
Right. Now, I don't know what was wrong with her, but she was always constantly moaning, and you could see that the nurses were trying their best to keep her happy, and she wasn't having any of it. And, she was moaning because her hands had gone blue.
Well, that is a worry, to be honest.
Well, it's not, because she's 98.
Is that what happens?
But why doesn't the doctor, if I was a doctor, and I'm not one, but...
No, Carl, don't be modest. Are you a doctor, yes or no?
But if
I
was
think he's
there-
let it slip. Carl, are you a doctor?
No, listen.
Look me in the eye.
Right.
So this woman had blue hands. Had she seen a spacecraft?
Right. So...
Go on.
She had blue hands. Now... She's 98. If I was a doctor, I'd be
No, she's not 98. You said earlier on she looked about 98. So you're making that up.
It's just shifted from speculation to fact.
Absolute fact now.
Yeah.
Right, she's 98.
It is fact now.
There's a 100-year-old woman.
Yeah, go on, yeah.
If I was a doctor, I'd be thinking...
You're not, are you? You honestly...
How did I con them? How did I get away with this?
I'd be thinking...
Right.
She's 98. She hasn't got long left. Why not just let her be at home and be happy in her own space?
Yeah.
And let her have a nice life, whatever's left.
Because she may hurt herself, so you may have falls. Some people have to go in there for their own protection. She might not have immediate
more
family.
than that, she may not have been dragged in against her will.
No,
she may have come to hospital because she was worried about her blue hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I was talking to Ricky, he said, "Oh, what it would have been is probably a bit of." Did you say it's rheumatism or something?
No, I said a blueness can be through lack of circulation.
Right. So just.
And
so,
I'm definitely not a doctor.
You've got blue hands, bad circulation. We're going to send you home. We'll give you a Rubik's cube. Play around with that with your hands. Get the blood.
Rubik's cube.
Get the blood pumping.
Yeah.
And don't worry. I don't say, oh, it's really bad. Just think she's 98. Let her have a nice rest of the life.
Yeah.
But instead, she was there, and the annoying thing was, and they do this with a lot of people in hospital. They pump you with drugs, try to sort it out. They don't, there's probably a bit of guesswork going on. Maybe a little bit.
Not as much as you, but go on.
Right, and because of that, they sort of break wind a lot. So I'm sat there with my dad talking.
Whoa,
Drugs do that, Steve. I'm sure if there's a doctor listening or a nurse, they will clarify that if they pump you with all sorts of stuff, it wants to come out.
Right.
So you're sat there having a serious chat. It's a quiet hospital. The woman next door with the blue hands suddenly starts seeping gas, right? Well, I start laughing. Because if there's one thing that makes you laugh, it's that,
It's a 98-year-old woman with blue hands farting.
So you try to hold it in because it's a really quiet hospital, and it'd be obvious that that I was laughing at, and I didn't want to be mean, but it is funny. And then it got me talking about my auntie, because my auntie Nora, she same thing, pumped her with loads of drugs. She used to a cabinet next to the bed is like Boots. She's got loads of stuff, right, for all sorts of stuff. And I mean, she's not that old, but she's on loads of stuff, right?
She's a bit coked up, is she?
She called up my mum once. And,
yeah, you told us this. Go on, tell it again.
And she said, "Oh, how are you doing?" And that. It's all right. Bit worried though. My mum said, "Why? What's up?" She said, "I've been breaking wind." So she goes, "Well, you know." She says, "No, but this one is going on and on and on." And she was like, she was like, what do you say? What's like passing wind, farting for 5 minutes. one thing, not like, you know, trumping and then nothing. Yeah. Continuous
drone of a fart.
Yeah.
I don't think she had. How big was she? She must be the size of a barn.
No, she's not that big. She's, you know, she's good for her age.
No, but I mean,
quite slim.
No, but farting for 5 minutes. Where's all the gas? Was she circular breathing? Was she sucking it in with her mouth?
It was just, I don't know that much about it. But she called up my mum. About 2.5 minutes in.
Could you hear it in the background?
2.5 minutes in!
2.5 minutes in, she called my mum up, and it went on for a further 2.5 minutes.
Oh. And she just stayed on the phone, did she?
Where was...
Going, can you hear that?
Well...
yeah. Did she hold the phone next to her arse? Listen to that.
She was off the ground.
Trying to work a tune down.
she was actually hovering. She was 4 foot off the ground when they found her, the ambulance men.
The cat's dead.
Don't light a match! Don't light that cigarette!
Yeah, it's like that advert. The kids come home from school, switch on the lights.
Yeah. There they see Granny hovering, turn the light on.
Be careful if you have an elderly woman at home.
Yeah. Drugs make you fart.
So that's what I'm saying, you know, just let these people...
What are you saying? No, wait a minute, what are you saying?
I'm saying let people enjoy the life they've got left.
No, you're not. You're saying don't put them in hospital, leave them at home to die.
No, I'm not.
Give them a Rubik's Cube and let them die. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I'll tell you something now, right? Steve, I'll tell you something. I didn't want to do it because it'd bring the show down, but she did die.
Who, the blue-handed lady?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Because I said to my dad, how's the woman next door? She said, oh, she went last night. They've got an old fella in there now.
God.
So, there you go. So, wouldn't it have been better to leave her at home, where her friends and family can call her and speak to her, even nip that round if they want, you know, with a cat, I imagine.
No, it's definitely a cat now. What was that cat's called, that you imagine?
I'm seeing like a big ginger one, so I don't know, something like, I don't know, maybe ginger or whatever. Maybe I had a budgie. But that's what I'm saying, just let him enjoy this life, because dying in hospital, I wouldn't like to do it. If I went to the doctors and they said, you haven't got long life left, I'd say, well, I'll stay at home.
Yeah.
And that's the point I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Right? If you can't do anything for them, let them enjoy the life.
Yeah, a Rubik's Cube.
Right, well, good. Backfired. Now, let's play the second of the Rolling Stones. I'm going to try and do this every week. It's a feature called Too Lazy to Go and Get Another Album.
Yeah.
What about a classic bit of rock and roll? Yeah?
I'd love to hear
Brown Sugar. Do you know what this is about, Carl?
Drugs.
Maybe, I'll tell you later. Stones, Brown Sugar. Steve thinks I can't tell you what this is about because it's too rude for radio. But you've done it again, haven't you? You've said another call, haven't you?
Yeah, just that drugs do make you have wind, morphine especially. That's the bad one to have.
And that was from a medical student, wasn't it?
Yeah. Up in Leeds, so cheers for that.
Haven't had any calls about the alien abduction, funnily enough.
No clarification on that so far.
No.
Keep you posted, though.
Yeah. If anything happens, we will let you know. Yeah. Well, that's it. We got through it with all these mistakes. They've got to get this equipment fixed and they've got to go to HMV Monday and buy about I'd say £5,000 to £10,000 worth of new albums. Because that's definitely.
It's gonna be good
Get
next
this
week.
fixed. No, get this fixed. Definitely.
Yeah. Don't go on about that. Next week though, we'll have more educating.
That's
Ricky.
the phone. Look, that's the phone.
Yeah, don't do that.
What?
Educating Ricky. We'll do the quiz. Rock Busters. Do that again.
Right, I might not be
songs.
here. If that's the case.
And Steve,
What?
what have you got?
What, next week?
No.
I'm just going to bring some sandwiches. Do you notice I was quite quiet for the last 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Just dozed off.
Yeah, well, the air conditioning's...
Exactly, I'm feeling quite muggy.
It's too... That doesn't work either. And this is... I'm totally serious. I'm not joking for the... it's ridiculous. So...
Right, a song for the ladies to end with as ever. Sly and the Family Stone. It's always a favourite. If you want me to stay.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Cheers.
Sweet.
Carl, right? What do you think it's like being a crab? If you could go now, your mind, into a crab, what would you see? Where would you be? What would you be doing? What would you be thinking? What would you think of all the other things, the crabs you'd see, the squids you'd see? What's it like, do you think? I want you to... It's like creative writing. Just think. Just let yourself go. Come on.
It's got to be a crab.
What do you think of a slug? What do you think to be a slug? What would you do if you were transported now into a slug? What would you do? And Suzanne, you're suddenly in the kitchen, but you're a slug, and Suzanne's sort of like there, just making tea and that. How do you let her know it's you?
It's impossible. I'd just chuck myself into the salt pot or something. No, because what do you do? I'd hate that. That would be horrible, that.
Oh, God.
Have you ever read Franz Kafka's Metamorphosis? In which a man wakes up and he's turned into a giant beetle? And that's the whole story. I think it might be of interest to you.
So what happened to him with the beetle?
Well, I don't want to ruin it for you in case you read it.
I won't be reading it, don't worry.
He joined a pop group with 3 other people. He was brilliant.
No, it's a really wonderful book. It's a kind of almost heartbreaking because, of course, he does, like Ricky's saying, he finds it very hard then to relate to other people, even though he still has the consciousness of a human. You know, his parents, his rest of his family, they don't know how to deal with him, you know, because he's a giant beetle. He becomes a freak, he becomes an outsider. It's terrible, you know.
But hang on, though. Is he a giant beetle? Or is it... Well, yeah, that's not going to go down well, is it? That, of course, people aren't going to like you. But if it's a normal-sized one, then you just get in with the other beetles, don't you? Whereas if you're a giant...
How would you do that? How would you ingratiate yourself? Right, so you're suddenly a beetle, you're Karl Pilkington, right? There's other people, they're doing their business, they're scuttling around, and you go in there, and they look at you as a new beetle. What's your first... What do you do? How do you ingratiate yourself?
Well, for a bit, I wouldn't sort of barge into their house and that. I'd wait until they're out and about, and I'd like in life, right? Sort of help them out. I don't know what beetles do all day. I've never seen one doing anything. They just seem to be going from one place to another. Right. I've never seen them carrying anything. I don't know what they eat. I don't know what they do. I don't know why we've got them, right? But what I mean is, I'd watch them and I'd sort of help them out. And, I mean, you know, it's like going on a date or meeting a woman, isn't it?
But what if there is...
Whoa, hang on, what do you mean? How is it like going on a date with a woman?
Well, it's like I said about Suzanne with her hot chocolate. She bought me that and I've gone, she's all right. Right? She gets me another one before I know it. She's living with me. So,
So you're these beetles, they're scrubbing around, right? You're sort of like watching them, and then you realise that you want to mate with this female beetle. What do you do? What's your first move?
Yeah, but I don't know what beetles do I? So I don't know what you do. I don't know if you go up and go, all right. What do they do? How do they get on?
Well,
it's a different world. I don't know yet, do I? Because I haven't done it.
Would you feel bad, because having your own mind in this beetle, right? Would you feel bad shagging a beetle? Would you feel that was a bit sick, because you've got a human mind?
Well, no, because you just close your eyes and that, wouldn't you? Think of something else. So, get round it that way. There's no point getting down about it, because I'm stuck now as a beetle. So you've got to get on with it.
But if you're a slug, you said you'd throw yourself in the salt pot. What would you do if you were a beetle if you got depressed? And you see all the other humans. No, you see your mates, right? They're listening to the iPod. What would you do?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. No, beetles are different because they do tend to hang about with each other. A slug's always on its own. It's a lonely insect, isn't it?
It's not an insect.
All right, what is it?
A mollusk.
Right, they're lonely. I've never seen a load of snails all together or slugs wandering about, whereas beetles seem to knock about in crowds.
Yeah.
So, oh God, okay, right, another one.
So they're sociable creatures, and it wouldn't bother you that you've got the mind of Karl Pilkington in there? Because you can't communicate with these people, because they don't speak English, they don't have any communication with you.
Yeah, but if it's happened to me, there'll be another one in there.
Okay then, right, okay. What would you do, right? What's the most disgusting thing. What could it be? Well, what would you do, right, if you were suddenly a fly, right, and you were knocking around with the flies, right, and you had to land on some,
Excrement?
yeah, what would you do?
Yeah, but I don't have to.
What do you mean? You're a fly. You're
But
loving
I
it.
wouldn't. No, I wouldn't be loving it though, would I?
Why?
Because I'm me in that fly's head. So I don't think other flies would be going, come on, join in. I'd just be like, no, I'll wait here, wait, watch and that. Because I don't see why they have to do that.
What would you do, right, if you had to go back and you were in a, had to go put your mind in, like, an hatched egg of something. Like, maybe one of those, that a wasp was injected in a spider. So you know you're in an egg, right, which is really uncomfortable, in a spider. How would you feel about that, Carl? You're a baby wasp in the abdomen of a spider.
And I know everything that I know now. I'm sat in there.
Yeah. And now I'm in a spider as an unborn wasp. What the fuck am I doing here? What's going on?
I don't know what I'll do there. Probably try and sleep. There's nothing else to do though, is there?
I just pray to God it never happens. Remember we were talking a while back about the questionnaire that is often featured at the end of the TV programme Inside the Actor's Studio.
Oh, yeah.
Where the host, James Lipton, always asks the same questions to every guest. And it's just supposed to sort of, get their creative, juices flowing, their mind working. We did ask Carl some of them. We never completed the questionnaire.
Oh, let's
I thought
carry
I'd
on
fire
with that
a few
then.
more at him.
And that'll also introduce some people to the way his mind works a little bit. Okay.
What sound or noise do you love, Carl?
There isn't really one that I love. Nice noises,
Yeah.
like the ones you get. Like I like going in the park, right? And you go, oh, that's nice, isn't it? And you get like bird noises and stuff. But with those bird noises comes a bit of stress, right? Because I was in there the other day, and like I say, little bird noises and that, and a little robin was there, and I thought that's odd. That's out early, right? Because it's like sort of summertime and that.
Sure.
And then I thought, oh, that's nice. And I was watching it, and then it got like a little worm, right? And I was like, hey, put it down, right?
Sorry, whoa! What do you mean?
Because
Why
I
are you
didn't-
interfering? Why were you interfering
In nature.
with a robin taking a worm?
Just because it was a nice sunny day and that, and I thought, you see, worms normally come out when it's raining, don't they? And you go, well, I bet they're happy to die, in a way, because it's chucking it down, it's miserable. They come to the top of the soil then, don't they?
Yeah.
When it's miserable. But it was a sunny day.
That's they don't drown, I assume.
No, it's not that, is it? It's just that they hear the water or something falling on the ground and they go up to see what's happening.
What? No, wait. But why do they come up when they think it's raining? You're a worm, okay? It starts raining. Tell me your thought process.
Well, you just you're down there, you can't see anything, it's dark anyway.
Yeah.
So the rain's coming down on the land, the worm goes, what's going on?
The worm goes, what's going on?
He wiggles up to the top.
So what does he do?
So it goes up and it sort of sees it's raining, and then it goes back down again, doesn't it? But that's what I'm saying about.
What do you mean? What is this world where he goes, oh, it's just rain again? Oh, so that's the 400th time I've been caught out this year. It's rain. I'll remember next time. I won't come up. What do you think a worm is capable of in terms of cognitive thought?
What do you mean?
Well, a worm can basically tell certain chemicals and certain light patterns. That's all it is, really.
Yeah, and
It's not thinking. It's not choosing its favourite food.
you don't know that though. Is what I'm saying. You don't know what things are thinking. Everything thinks.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, the thinking.
There's something in this room that's not.
All right. What about this one then? What about flowers? Do you think they've got
A mind.
a feeling? Because here's something that
Again, they use phototropism. They go towards the sun. They close and
All right,
open.
well,
Can you
they
stop
grow.
using long words, Rick, like sun?
Listen. I've been to my mum and dad's. Right. I was talking to my mum about stuff.
All right.
And she was saying how this flower solved a crime. What happened was there was a murder right, in an office. So they said it's obvious that someone who works in the office did this murder because that person's only a sort of a typist. They've done nothing wrong. So they said that's narrowed it down, right? So this flower man came in and he said, I can sort this out for you. So they said, what do you mean? He said, well, during the murder, the plant was knocked off the cabinet,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And he had some special wires that he can put on
Special
the flower,
wires, yeah.
on the flower, and it's sort of shaking and stuff, because even though you can't see it, flowers pick up bad vibes and what have you. If you shake a plant, it doesn't like it.
Okay.
Right? So what happened was, he said, right, what we'll do, we'll put the plant back on the shelf,
Yep.
we'll water it, we'll calm it down, then get
Give it a nice cup of tea.
every member of staff
Right.
to come in the room
Yeah.
and just go near the flower.
Right.
So don't tell them.
So like a lineup for the flower.
kind
Yeah.
of.
Kind of like a lineup.
But
Sure.
don't tell them what we're doing. Just send them in
No.
and say, stand by that cabinet where the
Yeah.
murder happened and what have you.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a long day. They were getting through a lot of stuff. It was a big office block.
Yeah.
They were going, this isn't working. You know, the flower's not budging. Suddenly, they get into like the last part of the day when they were almost giving up.
They call in a sketch artist. The plant gives them a.
Some caretaker fella
Caretaker, yeah.
said, go over there.
Was it?
You
Was
know,
it an
so-
old man that? I mean, because Scooby-Doo didn't like him from the beginning.
No.
They send the caretaker over to the plant. He's going, you know, he's thinking, I've got away with this.
Of course.
Plant starts shaking, what have you. They did him.
Okay, wait a minute then. So, was there any other evidence?
Was that the only evidence they used in the trial?
Well, no, it's one of them things, though. Imagine it, if you're that caretaker and you're thinking, I've got away with this, then suddenly a plant grasses you up. You weren't expecting that. So suddenly you're off guard.
And you go, okay, can't get that chrysanthemum away from me, I did it. You're talking absolute bollocks. That was one of the most nonsense pieces of shit I've ever heard
But
in my
anyway,
life.
listen, well, it happened, but...
It didn't
because you
happen.
said it. But what I was saying is, about the worm, this robin that I saw that was eating the worm, it had hold of it, and I thought, it's a sunny day and that, give the worm a break, sort of thing. So I went, oh, yeah, like that, and it sort of dropped it in shock. But then, when it realised I wasn't that near it, it picked it up again and swallowed it. And I just thought, oh... Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean, no.
I just thought it's a sunny day and everything. Normally birds are nice noises that I like, and yet there it is going about wrecking lives.
Wrecking lives! It was a
But it just swallowed it really quickly in that, and I just thought, there's the worm. It came out, it was happy, didn't know what was going on, and it had an extra chance. The robin dropped it, and then it got it again and ate it, and I just made me a bit fed up.
Well, do you know why, don't you? You couldn't outwit a robin. The worm was going, oh, God, Karl Pilkington. So that's who's been sent to save me, is it, God? You've sent Karl Pilkington, oh, I'm dead. That's it, okay, eat me.
But all I'm saying is our bird noises are normally quite relaxing, but not for the worm.
Unbelievable. That was one question. Mind you, I went to Texas once, and I had some ribs, and it was like the Flintstones. It was huge. And not only did it look too much like an animal that I couldn't actually eat it, I don't know who could eat it. I mean, seriously, it was 2 foot long,
Yeah.
and all the it was like half a rib cage. And I
It is
just...
incredible. My friends lived in Texas for a while, and they once were in a kind of diner, and there was you know those kind of benches that are attached to the table
yeah.
itself, like a kind of picnic bench.
Yeah.
And this huge fat guy came in, he came wobbling, he ordered like this kind of everything you can eat meal, and his fat kind of sort of, you know, kind of...
His big
wrapped
fatty
itself-
fatness fatted on the fat table,
It,
yeah.
it wrapped itself around the table and everything.
Oh,
He was
God.
chowing down, and when he tried to leave, the table came up with him.
Oh, no!
Imagine that!
I mean, they are fat, aren't they?
They're big people.
They're huge people. But it was that thing we talked about before, that bloke on Jerry Springer's show, it was like 80 stone, right? Now, I felt quite sorry for him, he was really sad and he was crying. It is rad, but my point is this, right? When he got to say 50 stones,
Sure.
didn't he go, that's too much,
That's gotta be
isn't it,
enough.
for a land animal?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's big, isn't it? I mean, I'm getting worried. I'm 13 stone, and I am genuinely getting worried. I'm thinking, oh,
Yeah,
God.
when you've got that big, when you've actually got your own mare,
yeah. When you
Yeah,
have
it's time.
when you have to get in helpers to look what the scale says.
Yeah.
Like 4 or 5 people lift up your belly and go, it's 52 stone. You go, that's too much.
Exactly.
I'm going to only have 9 breakfasts
when you actually,
today.
when you begin to appear on the Ordnance Survey map,
yeah, exactly, yeah. When
you've
you
got
can
your
see-
own symbol.
It's like, we can see 2 things from space now, Fatty and Steve Merchant. We'll be landing
All right,
at about...
well done.
Well, no, I'm just
Having
saying,
a
at
go,
all, you're
mate.
not fat, aren't you? You're freakish and big.
Just another
Go
quick
on.
thought. Someone's mentioned Daphne from Scooby-Doo, and
Yeah.
but I've always had a soft spot for Velma.
Velma.
Because Velma
Oh,
was doing all the
no.
glasses. I mean, I'd have
She's
had
clever.
Can I tell you what would have happened if I was in that environment? I was maybe on the...
Your glasses would have got tangled
No,
up.
I'd have always had I'd always been making a play for Daphne, right? And Velma would have fancied me, but I'd
Yeah.
kind of always ignored it because I was playing for Daphne. And then when I finally realised it was never going to happen with Daphne, I'd have blown it with Velma. That's
Maybe
the story
not,
of my
though.
life.
Maybe not. Sometimes those, you know, they might, you know, appreciate honesty and go, listen, I've been hitting on the good-looking one. Oi, Four Eyes.
Yeah.
Do you fancy it, Chubbs?
Exactly.
Something like that.
Let's be honest, is what you're saying.
Well, yeah.
I'm wondering, I don't mean to be libelous, but Velma, she was quite short, the glasses, the short hair.
Lesbian?
Hung around with the dog and
Lesbian?
the bloke. I'm beginning to wonder if she was, maybe.
See, unfortunately, I said lesbian there, and you still carried on with your assessment of what it is to be a lesbian. It's bad enough doing the cliches of having short hair, but you said the dog.
Yeah, well, she hangs around with a dog.
Do lesbians do that?
Well, have you seen some lesbians? They're right dogs. Good night. Have you seen what I've done there? You know what I've done there, Rick? Comedy award winning.
Professional. I was having a cup of tea. 100 Reasons here on XFM 104.9, just gone half 2.
Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, with Steve Merchant.
Hi.
Alright.
Rick, we've got a couple of emails in here, and they're saying they enjoyed your performance over the Christmas period on a programme called 100 Greatest TV Moments.
Yeah.
Did you do an interview or something? What was the deal? I didn't see this.
Yeah, the Office was in there, wasn't it? And I was interviewed for it.
But what are they talking about with they enjoyed your performance? Come on, tell me
You
what
know, do you?
No,
it's the thing that I did on Razzmatazz.
Oh, is this where they found a clip or something?
Yeah. No, alright, I was in a band, and we had one single out or something, and I did one TV appearance when I was about, oh god, and they showed a bit of it, about 7 seconds, me on Razzmatazz. Oh god.
Razzmatazz, for those that don't remember, was like a kind of, I suppose, what was it, like a kind of CD UK of its time?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And, oh god. And it was of the time, sort of new romantic. And
they showed a clip of this?
I looked about 10 and about 5 stone, with hair and makeup and girly clothes. My sister actually said I looked like Posh Spice.
Brilliant.
There's a funny story about that, right? Because we were rushed and we had to do this thing, and we were meant to take a flight to Newcastle. And
where were you travelling from? London?
Yeah, but we got there and we didn't have tickets, we were told to be there, but the A&R man overslept. Right, for the record company, overslept, and it was terrible, and we were fretting, and eventually it was too late to get the plane, we missed the plane, we had to get a train, and it was really kind of fine. They were back and forth, they're going, yeah, if they come now, we can still do it, we're going to miss it, and this was like a big promotional thing. And we got there, and they went, oh, God, right? And I had this sort of like jumpsuit I was wearing that I'd cut off, put that on backwards.
A jumpsuit?
Yeah,
brilliant.
I know, it was
what was
bad.
On the clip?
Yeah, I had that on back to front, and there was no time, and I think I even mimed wrong at one point, and it was awful. But the funny story is this, that when we were there, we didn't have our tickets.
This was at the airport?
We bumped into Bucks Fizz. the guys and girls from Bucks Fizz and their manager, so there's like 5 of them, right? And there's 2 of us, and they had 5 tickets. And Bucks Fizz tried to smuggle us through. And so they went through the things, right? And they went, tickets please. And he just waved 5 tickets that he had, like that, goes, this is us, right? And they went, well, can I have a look at them? And they went, there's only 5 here. And they just looked at us and went, sorry lads, we tried. We were nearly smuggled through.
By Bobby. Carol.
They couldn't even with their powers. They were at the height of their powers.
That was like make-believe time.
They'd already done making your mind up. I thought if anyone can get us through customs check, it was the Fizz. But even the Fizz
what I like
could not get us through.
That reassures me, I have to say, about kind of airplane travel. You know, in these kind of troubled times, it's nice to know that even someone like Bucks Fizz couldn't smuggle someone through.
That's good, because the top security man went, hold on, there's 5 in the Fizz, there's 5 tickets, those 2 lads are not going through.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes you more secure about air travel now.
Well, it's lovely if I'm in America, and I see 5-star, trying to get through customs.
With 2 other lads.
Exactly, I think, wait a minute, what's going on there?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, security guy stopped him, it's fine.
It's fine, yeah.
We know there's only 5 in 5-star.
Oh.
It's lovely to know that.
Yeah.
I love the fact, and did you know the Fizz previously? Was this your first run-in with the Fizz?
No, they were doing the Taz, same as us, they were doing the old Raz. Same as us.
Did you recognise the Fizz and go, oh my god, that's the Fizz, let's try and sneak in with them, or did they recognise you? How did it work?
They wouldn't have recognised us.
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. I love the audacity of going up to Bucks Fizz and saying, try and smuggle us in. You try and break aviation law for us.
Now, now it's time to make your mind up. We're going to the land of make-believe. I did that and they laughed, they went, brilliant. We'll get you through, lads. Yeah. Just stay tight. I was actually on top of Bobby's shoulders in a long coat.
Lovely.
Yeah, but Bill...
Well, seriously though, I don't understand what their plan was.
Like, they would have gone, yep, through.
It's the Fizz, let them through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't bother checking the...
It's like, not worth even answering, we couldn't even get to Newcastle.
Do you think it was wearing your jumpsuit backwards, that sort of... gave it away.
Well, no, but see, I didn't have it on then. I was just in civvies. I just had jeans and a t-shirt then. I didn't even have my hair gelled. I was just like cash.
I
then.
saw it. I thought it looked all right.
Did you?
Did you?
Well, I mean, for
Then
In
you.
a tight jumpsuit.
nice
Yeah.
cheekbones.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I had some cheekbones. Yeah. That was the. That was.
If anyone else saw it, or maybe they taped
No,
it and they've
let's
got a
leave
clip,
it now.
because I'd love to see it. I missed it.
Well, I'll get you one.
If you have it, put it. I'll tell you what. Why not create a website, and put that clip on there on a constant loop, and then send the address in, and I'll give it out, and people can check it out for themselves.
Yeah, brilliant.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll have to lose weight now.
Yeah.
That film.
Oh, now we come to the feature. We're carrying this over 2002 because it was such a great success.
Everyone's talking about it.
Do you remember I stopped my film reviews because I'm only doing films I like, and I've done all the films I like. That's where other film reviewers fail.
Sure.
Because they review substandard films.
Exactly.
My average is still 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
And no one's beaten that. Not Barry Norman, not Jonathan Ross. No one's got an average of 9.5 out of 10 for the films they reviewed. So I'm keeping it there. I don't want to drop my standards. However, that film sounds good. This is where I pick a classic track from a film that I might not have seen, right? But I like the song, I might go and see the film. This is Almost Famous.
The film was Almost Famous.
I haven't seen it, right? But a song, now don't panic, listen without prejudice. This is Elton John, but it's when he was good, okay? When he was a bright, funky, young Brit glam star. Wonderful song, wonderful tune, wonderful lyrics. It's Tiny Dancer. Love Burns. Black Rebel Motorcycle Club there, Steve. What's about it?
That's it, isn't it?
We've had some laughs, haven't we?
We've learned as well. We've been educated as ever.
Yeah, past ears, all that.
We've got baguette information.
We've had features such as That Film Sounds Good.
Exactly. A
Song
song
for the
that I
lovers.
like.
Song for the lovers. Song for the ladies.
Song for the Ladies coming up very shortly. Rick, I was lucky enough this week to go to a exclusive press preview of Britney Spears' forthcoming movie, Crisscross, or Crossroads. Crossroads, I think it's called.
Yeah.
It's not related to the popular TV show.
Right.
Rick, I'm assuming you'd love me to do a little review of it now. I can't, because it's
No, I wouldn't.
embargoed until March. I can only talk about it in March.
No, I
otherwise
wouldn't, no.
the press people will go crazy.
No, I don't. I wouldn't want you to.
Well, no, I imagine you want to know all about Crossroads.
Not really.
Because I cannot tell you anything.
Well, don't then. I mean, just.
Well, you can ask me questions, you can pump me for information, I cannot tell you anything about it until March.
I would pump you for no reason ever.
No, but Rick,
Certainly not for information.
Carl, doesn't matter what you ask me about Britney Spears' Crossroads, I cannot tell you anything about it.
Alright.
Okay?
Okay.
But seriously, if you want to know the plot or what I think of it, I cannot discuss it. Okay? And if the listeners want to email in questions, they can, I cannot reply until March. So hang on for that. I've seen the film already. I've already seen the film myself in advance of everyone else. I can't tell anyone about it
Right.
until March. That's the kind of exclusive.
I'll tell you what though,
Go on.
maybe I'll review it in March.
No, you can't,
Why?
because you haven't seen it and I have.
Yeah.
But if you want to ask me a question now about it.
Well, that's you in March.
Yeah,
Not
but if
really
you wanted
bothered.
to know now, you couldn't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Right. Song for the lovers.
Yeah.
Ladies,
Anyway,
sorry.
Song for the Ladies this week. I was lucky enough to get given as a Christmas gift the Rolling Stones complete singles collection.
Good
And
present. Good
Well,
present.
it's an absolute joy. And I'd forgotten how brilliant Wild Horses
Oh, great
is
track.
from the Stones. So I thought I'd play that this week for the ladies. Let's leave them with that.
Jagger and Richards at their best.
Beautiful.
Watts is in on it. If I know Wattsy. I mean, Wyman was still there those days.
See you next time.
Bye.